Welcome back to another chapter on what to make with paint stir sticks. This chapter is about wooden crates. So this is an example of one that we made. It's about 9 inches wide by about 12. We start off with like an Amazon type box of any kind. And I like to keep it in the size of the sticks, which I'll talk about in a minute. So we start with a box, and that keeps it square, plumb level square. And then we implode the box from the inside when we're done. And I'll show you that here in a minute. This box here is another one we made, kind of an alternative plan, so that in this particular case, we painted the box. And then we hot glued the sticks to the box. The advantage here is that you can use short pieces and combine them. Otherwise, when you combine these short ones, it's not strong. But I'll also show you in a few minutes how to solve that problem. The advantage of this box is nothing falls out. The crates, they've got a good bottom to them, but things could fall out the side. So I'd mentioned earlier, when we make these crates, we make it, and I'm going to show you all the details, we make it with the box intact. When it's all done and glued, we cut the bottom of the box out and fold and pull out the center of what's left over. And that creates this strong box bottom. We also secure the bottom in some cases with extra wood, so that way if it sits on moisture surface, or it just stabilizes the bottom. So for this project, you're going to need some of the basic tools that we've been making and supplies we've been technically working on or working with. Let me plug in one of the supplies you're going to need is a hot glue gun, which I should have plugged this in a few minutes ago. Sorry. Okay. So the supplies you're going to need are some sticks. And as I covered in one of my other chapters, see how the grain of this one goes all wiggly, squiggly, and at right angles to the stick, as opposed to some of these others that are long grain. So the long grain sticks I like to soak and bend, but when it comes to this short grain, what happens is the stick doesn't bend very well, and this kind of grain kind of sticks out really well once it's varnished, and it looks really cool for some of the other projects. So you're going to need some sticks. We have, depending upon what size box, big sticks, little sticks, you're going to need some glue, hot glue, either Titebond or Elmer's, either way, it works good. The saws, ways to cut, ways to measure, ways to sand, and ways to clamp. You don't need a miter box, but it's helpful. If you have one, that's great. Okay. So The first thing you want to do is get a box that works well for the size of your project, of your wood. You wouldn't want to have a bigger box than this because your wood is not long enough for that to happen. So one quick lesson, this particular box is really ideal. However, I left it out and the dog chewed it up. So this box would have been ideal because it actually leaves a good amount left over, and it was about the right size and shape. But quick tip, don't leave it out for the dog. So these other boxes are ideal shapes, like this is about a foot, and then it would allow you to cut 2, and it's about 6 or 8 inches the other way. So always also keep your leftover supplies. So what we do with the top, we open this up, cut this off, cut the flaps, and glue them. After you glue the existing flaps to the bottom, glue those in. Then take your extra pieces and glue those down to the bottom as well. And you can put some books on there or some bricks or whatever, wood or whatever is going to weight that down. And what that's going to do is it's going to secure that bottom of the box really, really well. So after that is done, so we've cut the flaps, we've glued the bottom, we've cut the flaps, glue large flaps to the bottom. We've done that. Hot glue large sticks. Okay. So what we want to do there, on your box, you want to cut the sticks to size. And take some hot glue and bring it up and down along this edge at the bottom. And obviously you're going to only do one side at a time. So then take your, while it's still hot obviously, take your stick and glue it to the line you've drawn earlier. And what the key is, you want a little bit of a lip of this stick hanging down because you're going to use it for clamping purposes later. If you have the stick flush to the bottom, you'd have nothing to put your clamps up to. So mark it so that you have just about 1/4 of an inch lip hanging below the bottom, and that will also keep your cardboard up off any moist surface. That's number 4. So draw spacing lines. What that is about, and once again, I use the hot glue like this because later on when you have your perimeter glued to the bottom, you're going to flip this over and you're going to run Elmer's or Titebond along that edge, and that's going to seep into these voids and really make that bottom box a secure foundation. So I think we're on number 5. That's spacing. So once the glue is set at the bottom, I make some spacing marks. So when it's all done, this will be clear space. This will be wood, clear, wood, clear. So you can cut, and those spacing marks go all the way around. So once you have determined the length of your stick, cut enough to run the perimeter of the box. And what you want to do is you just want to, you'll use one blank stick as a spacer and then put like 2 dabs of hot glue on the box and press it. And all that's going to do is going to hold the stick in place while you put your sticks all the way around the perimeter. And by doing that, the box that you're going to implode later is actually holding your sticks in place while you're going to glue up their corners. And with the only 2 tabs of glue, when we implode the middle, the tabs of glue will come off and you'll clean off the back of the stick, and then what you're left off with is the box. So that one was cut and hot glue the sticks to the side. Making corners, I'm going to show you how to do that. So corners of any size, any size basically. So we like to keep some of the packages intact, and I actually secure them up with more tape so that we can actually use them as a gluing frame. So in this particular case, we figured out this corner goes down to that box. We figured out how tall that box was going to finish off, cut our sticks, rubber band them to the existing package, put a little glue in there, close it up, and set it aside. In the larger boxes where we need corners, we did the same thing, but we used a larger package. So this one is set up to glue that box. But what we did is we put the paint stir stick on there, we ran a bead of glue along there, put the other stick on there, and used rubber bands to secure that in place to make these corners here. Once it was glued, we will cut and fold those or glue those into place. The large corners, let's say for this demonstration box, they can be used, sorry. Here's my knife. Okay. So we have one of our store-bought sticks, packages. We put the tape on there to keep it secure, but also a key element is it comes in a pack of 4, and we like to glue up with a package of 5. By doing that, a package of 4 has a tendency to want to twist the L that you're the corner you're creating, but the other one allows it to be keep square. So once again, we put one stick on there, run a bead of glue, and then put the other stick on there and put rubber bands on it. You can also use great big man clamps if you've got the clamps and the hands to do that. But otherwise, the rubber bands work really good. So once you have the perimeter base foundation secure, you've got the strips of the wood wrapping all the way around the box. You have glued up your corners in preparation there's a corner right here. It's glued up. And so we keep the package on there because the glue doesn't want to stick to the plastic. So it's one of those key elements. So this particular one is for, I think, a box over there. But this short one is now going to be glued and clamped. Here. And there. So remember I had mentioned earlier about leaving this 1/4 inch lip down here, and that's exactly for that purpose, is to allow you, there we go, allow you some space to put your clamps on there to hold it. So now you've got this top part where you've got it clamped, and the bottom part where you've got it clamped. And you don't have to stick, I've got small sticks here and big sticks. It's just totally up to you what you want to do. So this bottom was really secured. We cut and we did the perimeter with the sticks, big or small. The top one you don't have to use the little dabs of hot glue. You can also use clamps for the top. That would mean that your box is going to have to be cut to the right finished height of the layout. And you don't have to keep with this size layout. This equals that, which equals that. You know, you can make this spacing different. So once the box is all glued up, okay, remember these were some corners for this box. This was a corner for this box. We did use some small corners, but we could also use some big corners. One of the things we did with this particular box is we used some short cut-off pieces. So by themselves, they would be short. You couldn't really end glue them securely. So what we did, or will do, is we'll glue an extra piece here in the middle. So we'll run a bead of glue in there, clamp it down, put the clamps in there and let it dry. This particular one is the thin pint stick. That one will also do a good job of securing this so it doesn't break. So you've got your base, you've got your sticks laid out, you put your corners in, let it dry, and then come in here with a knife. Actually, from the outside, you can cut your box away. From the inside, you'll have to do a little bit of trimming as well. And cut. And then once it's all cut, you take the inside and you just kind of fold it. There might be some ripping and tearing going on of the cardboard if you didn't cut it completely. But then you simply keep pulling that off, ripping it out until it gets all the way out. In this particular box, we did secure the bottom. Let's see if I can get a good shot of that. There we go. We secured the bottom here with extra paint stir sticks to make it strong. Instead of, this box didn't have any flaps to glue down inside. So this is why we did this wood right here. This box did not have the lip I was telling you about for gluing up the corners. And I had to solve it in a different way. I had to pinch it here. So flip this guy over. So remember when I did the bottom box, when I glued this piece on there really solid, and then you flip it over, and by flipping it over, when that was dry, you add a bead of glue, wood glue, along this corner. And what happens is that glue absorbs down where the hot glue wasn't. And that'll really make a secure foundation for it. So I hope this has been helpful. Sometimes it is an advantage to do my videos on the turntable. I noticed on this one it was kind of wiggling around. I apologize for that. And I'm going to make a little bit of a racket here for a second. Okay, so when the box is all done, it really does help to take your sanding sticks we showed you how to make and kind of clean up, sand, and smooth these corners off really well. See how this one is, my measurement was off just a little bit, and here as well. Take your rough sandpaper stick that you made and push in like this. If you push out like this, you'll have a tendency to rip and tear the fibers outwardly. If you're going to do that, make your cut like this, and that puts those delicate fibers away from the cut. But in this case, what you want to do, if you just push forward with your sanding stick, then you won't fracture and splinter these edges because the push and the force is in. So that was on the rough side, and then you can smooth it off on the smooth side. These edges can be cleaned up. Once you're all done, you can paint the box or do whatever you want, varnish it. Thanks.